Welcome to the Council of Moms. I'm Lisa Valentine Clark, your host. Today, I'm super excited. We've got LaShawn, Erica, and Julie assembled together to answer your questions. Let's get right into it. Council of Moms, we're doing it.
I love it.
And we're doing it right now. Here's our questions. Okay, this is kind of a tricky one, and I wish that I had had the Council of Moms officially assembled when my kids were smaller, because I've made some mistakes with this question. But here it is. So, full disclosure, I needed this one. The parents of one of my kids' friends is asking too much of me. What do I do? So if you've got parents around your kids' friends, and they're asking and demanding a lot in a situation, how do you handle that?
Oh, this is a good one. So there's this piece around like, what is making them, okay, do they have actual need? Or are we functioning like with folks maybe who feel too entitled? Or are they helpless?
Therein lies, you're in my head. Yeah, because when I hear demands from people who are not like in my family, when anyone makes a demand, I'm like, yeah, is this a need? Is this are you used to saying things and just having everybody's just sort of do what you want?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good, that to me, that's a natural start to this.
Mm-hmm. What was your situation, Lisa? Did you have?
Okay.
Hypothetically, of course.
Hypothetically, when my kids were little and it was apparent that oh, my kid wants to be friends with this kid. Let's have play dates. Let's sign up for the same baseball team or, whatever. Let's get them together because they like each other. But then it seemed like at some point I found myself involved in parenting like they parented. Like that was the assumption. So for example, it would be they really want to do this activity or that or the other, and it's kind of expensive and well, they want to, so we have to do it. Or, that kind of stuff of I'll pay for, this and you pay next time. Or now we're going to take them, to do I had a lot of kids and my husband was always in school and stuff. We didn't, and I was a stay-at-home mom for years and years. So we didn't have a lot of money. That's my decision, right? Of how I raised my kids. I would never assume somebody could or couldn't do anything based on that. But when we'd have a friend and they would be oh, let's get them this for Christmas that's matching. Or if they're signing up for baseball, I'll take them to get, to go out to eat after this time. You pay for the next one and da-da-da. And I'd be we don't go, that kind of assumption or asking, or they're going to have this birthday party. This happened a lot. And, we're going to do this activity and this and this. So your portion of it will be this much money. And I'll be say what? Do you know what that kind of assumption? And
I live in a different neighborhood.
Well, here's the thing. I did too.
That's crazy.
And it didn't happen all the time, but sometimes it's a monetary ask. Sometimes it's I keep my kids entertained all of the time and do all this stuff. And I'm when we invite friends to come over, they just come over and play. I don't watch them and say, now we're going to do this craft. Now we're going to go out to eat. Now we're going to they just play. Yeah. So negotiating money, activities, time, and what that supervision will look like is different for every kid. So negotiating between parents and different parenting styles is something that I think that everybody has to kind of navigate. How do you have those conversations when they're so awkward and some people aren't ready to have them?
I'm thinking about the fact that maybe mine was more demanding with time. It became a babysitting swap that wasn't so swapped.
Yeah,
right.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
How come I'm the stay-at-home mom and maybe a friend works or something, so suddenly I'm the nanny, and it's an unpaid position. So
that's not fair. But they're just playing.
Yeah, it's fine. 100%. They're just playing. I'm just sending them over to play, and it's not. It's an intense situation. Yeah. Every time you add a new kid. So, I think that I think maybe really being clear in your own head first. Maybe you need to journal it out and process what is really bothering me? Why is it bothering me? What is happening? So that you can decide what your boundaries are. Because we still want to be able to give, but like we can't give to where we can't give, right? And I think if you can clearly draw a boundary before you have to address it with somebody, it's much more helpful than like trying to like verbally express a boundary that you haven't totally processed yet.
Yeah, and I think it's harder when it's not formally asked. It's just assumed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about that very often.
Julie, I love what you said about like journal it out, because I feel like the hardest thing in life is to have the right script. I think if you have the right script, you can handle any situation. One thing that we've run into in our family is friends that are constantly over at my house at meal times.
Yes.
And-
oh my gosh.
I've had that.
Okay, financially,
And
Yes,
neighbors.
Yes.
I'm like, bro, you
And
guys
I
can eat
have all
ramen.
boys. I have all boys. And feeding my boys is literally like putting on Chuckarama 3 times a day. So to bring in more boys and feeding them, it's just a touch point for me. I know it's not a touch point for everyone. And I know that they've been at other people's houses and they're like, sure, I just fed them. It's no big deal. I love having that. But for me, it's not even just the effort to feed other kids. That's really not it. It's just that mealtime, we've tried so hard to make like our family time. And when you invite,
special.
yeah, it's just kind of our only time where we're actually crossing paths during the day. And so something that is a script that we have started is we have so loved having you, but our family time is kind of a rule in our house that we just eat together as a family. And we just say, and it's just a rule that we do that. So we would love to have you come back maybe tomorrow or after dinner or, whatever.
Oh, I love
but
that.
As long as we have that script, it just is no longer awkward. And we just say, oh, it's just a rule.
Just this thing we do.
It's just this thing we do. Yeah, it's not a big deal. So there's no judgment on them and there's no awkwardness. It's just like, this is just who we are. And
How have your kids felt about that? Has it been okay?
I mean, my kids would love to have their friends come, but I think they would rather have a happy mom than a crazy mom. So I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm like just approaching that age. I'm just approaching the like friends at every corner. So that's interesting to like think about it.
Yeah, and I'll even tell my kids if they'll say, "Hey, I want to invite these 5 kids over." I'll say, "Okay, let's just set some expectations. I'm happy to provide a snack and drinks, but they need to go home by dinner. So just let them know that we're busy when it's 7:00 or whatever we're eating dinner." And then they're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And then they still feel welcome at my home. I still feel like I have been able to, host them, but I also don't feel like I've been infringed upon.
Or
I think
taken
that's really
advantage
proactive.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm being taken advantage of.
Well, and that's the thing that I think is on the other side of it too, is that people will see, they'll see you, they'll see us, and they'll say, this person is capable of doing a lot of things, right? Which is awesome. We want people to see that we're capable, that we're caring, that we're nurturing, and that in some element that maybe they don't have it together or that they appreciate seeing in others, they see in us. Like, oh, you see me as really capable of like feeding all my kids and yours at the same time without someone, losing an ear out of the whole thing, right? And so it's a compliment that they see this greatness and that they see this capability in us. And it's because of that capability that we come back to the conversation like, I know that this might seem like I'm really capable of these things, and I appreciate that you have this faith in me. Here's what works better for me.
Yeah.
Is if it goes like this, because none of us want to feel like we're mean or rude or whatever. Here's what I can do. I can't do this, but this is what I can do. Your friends can't stay here for dinner, but they can come back tomorrow. And as long as everyone's out by 6, we're good. And, everyone can have a snack to go, because it's always, for me, I'm always trying to figure out, how do I still make sure I feel authentic to me while handling whatever this expectation, boundary, whatever is that I'm trying to do. I want to make sure that I've said, this is a thing I can't do, but because I am capable and because this quality that you see in me is true, here's what I can do. This is what works better. What do you think? How do you feel?
Oh, I love that
Could we make
script.
that? You know what I mean? And so it's just, it allows that dynamic thing to exist in the relationship where I don't feel like I have to compromise myself or make my needs secondary to someone else's. And I feel like I'm showing up in the way that still meets something that this person I think is looking for.
Yeah, because I think that resentment will build up and you're the only one that suffers from it. I
Yes.
remember there were a couple of neighborhood kids who would just come, like especially in the summer, and just ring the doorbell like super early in the morning because they're bored. And I know that their parents were like, get out of the house, get out and play all day long. And they would just come over to my house. And I remember getting so mad. And I'm like looking at this sweet, innocent child. And I'm like, it's not their fault. Like, they don't know. They're just looking for something. But my mistake was not saying anything to the parent, to being like, hey, so we have this routine. This is what we do in the summer. And we don't have friends over till da, da, da. I had a neighbor who taught me a different trick because she had the same kind of problem. And she made a green circle, piece of paper, and then one with a red. And she's like, when we can have friends over, you'll see the green circle in the window, because she had the same problem. She had all these neighborhood kids coming over, and the parents they didn't know where they were, or they thought, oh, they can go over there because she's a good mom and she'll take care. And they didn't communicate or ask. They were asking a lot without saying anything and hoping that she'd be nice, and she was being taken advantage of. So she just said to, I'm going to cut out talking to the parents, which I don't know if that's the right thing, but this worked for her. She put the green sign in. She's like, when we can have friends over, oh, is the green sign there? Oh, that's right, we can. And if it's the red, then it means, oh, we're having family time.
I love that is like accessible to somebody that isn't like super extroverted or even direct or wanting to have to deal with like a face-to-face conversation with like your next
I love
neighbor.
your kids, but you can't just send them over for free babysitting all the time.
Super annoying, right? Like it's
My
like,
kids
oh, I
never
don't
go to
even
your
have-
house, but
Yeah, it's like the new text message, right? You can just like put it on. You didn't even have to like face to face your boundary. You've just created a situation. So that's really smart for somebody that like maybe isn't up to like having a face to face conversation with someone. They feel like it's not going to go well. It
because
wouldn't work
I feel like too that doesn't punish the kid. The kids are the innocents in this, right? They're trying to just figure out. They don't
They
know.
wanna play. Yeah,
they just want to play. And so you don't want to discourage that too. But like, depending on if you stay at home or you work or your schedule or a million different other variables that are going to change the way that you interact with, your kids interact with their friends and vice versa, of things people don't know. You can't assume that they know. Right? Like, it's just not fair.
To that point, Lisa, I was thinking of a situation in our neighborhood where during the summer, the kids will like move in packs to different houses doing different things. And there's just one house that always has the popsicles. Sometimes it's mine, or the ice cream sandwiches. And I will go out in the freezer and it's like, I just bought 3 boxes of these and they're gone in one day. One day. And I get all frustrated and I get resentful. And then I realize, oh, wait, the other parents have no idea what's going on. They
don't
have
know.
no intention of taking advantage of our food or our, finances. And so I find that sometimes just saying, hey, here's the situation. How do you guys want to handle this? Like, here are all the neighbors. Would it be okay? I mean, how would you feel if maybe we took turns with treats? And then they're like, oh, I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
And So sometimes when we feel like, oh, they're taking advantage of me and we feel this resentment, I think we are turning villains. We're making people villains that are not villains.
They're not.
And once they know the situation, and you can work together using, kind of cooperative language, like instead of your kid is doing this, it's like, hey, how could we do this for our kids?
And assuming the best and approaching it that way, I think is so great.
Yeah.
Well, and it's about how do you take it seriously without taking it personally?
Ooh,
right?
Very well said.
'Cause
Yes.
it's serious. Oh, yeah. Right? Because I'm the parent. Because if I'm thinking about it, I'm going to show up and be like, I know my kids probably ate all your food. What's your Venmo? Can I send you some money? Thank you so much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because I really try and think when I start feeling those resentments, I'm like, okay, so what would I do? If I was in this situation and I'm that parent, that means I need to reach out. I need to do something because I'm feeling resentful. So I'm going to reach out to some other parent and like pay it forward. Because then I'll feel like I did something.
I love that.
Right?
Yes, because sometimes you're going to be the one that needs something from the other parent that you can't give. That's like a big ask, and being aware of that. I love that. Just saying, I'm acknowledging that you are like feeding or doing this. Like, I can give you money. I can give you time. I can give you whatever I can, and acknowledging it. it just like, it helps so much. It makes you feel like you're doing it together, right? Like, oh yeah, we're raising these kids together. We're
yes, the
we're having them
village.
in our home. And because there have been years, I live across the street from the high school. So kids can come over to my house for lunch, right? And there have been years where we couldn't pay for all the tortillas and cheese. And there's years where it was like no big deal. You know, quesadillas for everyone, you know, the quesadilla, lettuce, salad days. But I love how, like other parents have responded to that. Like they'll drop off a big thing of tortillas they got from Costco. And I'll be like, oh, I don't need that. And sometimes I did or whatever, just the acknowledgement. And I've been on that too. Like when we had severe issues of like health in my family and stuff like that. And I wasn't as mobile. I remember a mom saying, I'm just going to take your kid to baseball practice every time. And I was like, no, that's not fair. Like, that's not fair. I've been that mom, and I'm not going to make another mom be that mom. And she's like, I am literally driving by your house every day. Like, let me just do this. And then I can give her a gift card or
Yes.
you know, but because I needed it. Like it was either that or no baseball. So, so we can really like serve each other and help each other, I think, in ways with it doesn't take as much, even if you're the one that needs more, to make it feel okay. You know, like in that question, it's like that parent is asking too much of me. It's like, what's behind that? Is it in the ask or is it in the assumption? Like, you know what I mean? Like it feels like an emotional weight, and we can really support each other in more emotional ways, I think, as parents.
I think being really clear about who you want to be is helpful too, because I think that like the idea of someone demanding too much of you might be that you hope you could meet that demand in some way. Like, I wish I was the party house. I wish I was the mom who could have my kids in every single activity, and like someone's saying it and you're like, yeah, I want to do it. I want to do it. Instead of like, are you clear? Like Erica wants family time, and I wish that like my gaming son would invite 7 friends over for dinner time. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I have a different need and a want. So I think probably would feel very overwhelmed if I was trying to meet every need to be the party mom, right? Like if I was meeting everybody's because I really desired to be that, rather than going like, man, I really wanted to be the party mom, but I think I'm not the party mom. I think I'm actually not that person. I'm actually, I like dinner time. I like my family here. I really actually want the closeness. I want that, rather than like, are we having a real clear perception of like what we really want to be?
Like,
Yeah. And so we're like feeling super demanded by everyone else because maybe there's something inside that like, we wish we were that. We're not really that. Right.
It's playing into our own insecurities.
Yeah.
In that question.
For sure.
And that other person could be like, is not aware of any of that.
Right.
Yeah. I was thinking of times that I have felt put upon, and Lisa sparked this, and that was, I feel like I'm the mom that's always driving everyone, or have at least in the past. I remember getting phone calls from neighbors that were like, could you go pick my kid up from dance? I have no kids in dance. I have no kids in dance.
Why are
Yes.
you?
And did
I
I
have
do
so
it?
many questions.
Yes.
I don't
And that is
understand.
my problem. And I should have said,
Why did they feel like you were the person?
They were like, it's just not a good time. And I know you're home. I know. And you know, don't even get me started in the,
Not
I know
all.
you're home.
That
I
makes
know
no
you're
sense.
home.
I know you're home.
That's crazy.
But I love what Julie said. And that is, I think we can always, can you tell I'm a words person, but I'm like, we can always lead out with who we want to be.
Yeah.
I really want to support you. I would love to take that off your plate today. It is not a good time for me.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, lead out with who you want to be so that you at least can acknowledge that and emphasize that. But I think it's totally okay to follow up with a but. But I can't do that today.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I would love to have your kids over. I love your kids. You're such good friends.
But not today.
Not today. I need some quiet time today.
True
or
story.
no. Or just no, and I don't have to
Never.
give you a reason.
Yeah.
Complete sentence.
That's true.
Complete sentence too.
What do they think you're doing at home? Like, I
That's
know
so
you're
weird.
home. What do you think I'm doing? Like, just staring at the floor? Like,
I hope someone calls so I can pick up their kids from dance. So excited. I can't wait.
I've just been home all day waiting. Like, highlight of my day. Unsolicited
gosh.
requests.
But
You have
it's
to realize
true. You're never in like, we never see each other how it really is.
Right. That's
One of my favorite things is when people talk at me and not with me, and they'll be like, it looks like you're doing really great and you're really happy. And I love to be like, does it look that way? It does? Does it? Tell me more about how I look. It's so mean. It's when I'm feeling snarky. But like we do that to each other. It's human nature, right? Like seems like she's got it all together. Well, I can't get it together, but her life is perfect or whatever, you know. And this separates us as women, and we need especially each other as moms. I mean, like we rely on each other in such a way, and it affects how we parent our kids. And they see this, right? Like, so we can't be martyrs about it, you know, and we can't be like holding on to that kind of resentment because it serves no one, especially not ourselves.
So if you're not holding tight enough boundaries that now every time you serve is super duper annoying, right? Or every time someone's asking something of you, it's like, oh, here I go again. I have to do it again, right? Instead, it's like, isn't it so great that maybe Erica could be like, yeah, I can do that today. And it felt good to say it instead of like, the heck? Why are you calling me again? Like, this is crazy. Yeah. So I think we have to realize that like, you're not an ultimate giver because you give and give and give. You're a giver because you give within the means that you have. Yes. And then you get the return. Like, wow, that felt good because I gave from a place that was honest, because I really wanted to give, not because I felt obligated to do it, not because I felt like you were going to be mad at me if I didn't do it, because I felt like I was going to feel like I wasn't good enough that I didn't go do it. Right? That it's really coming from an honest place of I have the time, I have the capacity, I have the like mental wherewithal, I'm filled up enough that I can give. Now it like feels awesome to do it.
And isn't it interesting how, especially as women, we live different lives, and a phase I'm always like every 3 months, I'm like in a new phase of life. Like you think, oh, I'll never be able to, or I'll always feel, and then something changes.
That's true. That's true. Julie, to your point, it was one of my favorite Brene Brown things is she's like, you cannot be 100% charitable unless you have boundaries. Because you will always be pulling back, wondering, how much is this person going to take from me? How much are they going to take from me? But if you set your boundary and say, nope, not watching your kids today. Or, yep, I can watch your kids today. You can 100% give your heart to that. I love what you said about that.
Well, and it's this piece like, I never give more than I can afford to lose. Like if it's going to cause distrust, disconnection, or I'm going to feel disrespected, then that's a place I know that I can't go. But I never give more than I can afford to lose, whatever it is. Like I'm going to give this time because I'm just going to give it. It's not going to cost me a thing. And I'm going to give, and I'm going to be okay whether they say thank you, whether they acknowledge it. I'm doing it because of who I am, not because of who they are.
Yep.
I'm doing it because this is me, and this is what's good for me. But I have to know what are my limits. If I can give up to like on a scale of 10, I can do a 3, cost me nothing. At a 4, I got to start asking some questions. Then like that's a different conversation. But I'll tell people too, like on a scale from 1 to 10, a lot of us find ourselves in that 8, 9, 10 by choice or by circumstance. And that's really important. You got to know some days it's going to be, I have to be at a 12 on my giving. Do I have it in me to do? I don't know, but I've got to. But when we find those times where we've got to give more beyond than what we actually have, what's your recovery plan? How are you going to recover from overdoing it? That's the other piece. Like sometimes you do have to overdo it. Sometimes you do have to overextend yourself. Okay. I'm not going to fight that, but I'm also no longer going to stop giving myself places and times to recover because I know I had to overcompensate. I either chose it or it happened. But once I'm there, okay, I'm overcompensating. I need to make sure I build in recovery. So it's like there's no wrong way to do this. I'm going to give what I can afford. I'm going to either choose to overextend because I have a recovery plan, or I'm going to find out I'm overextended and commit to a recovery plan. But it's not going to change the fact that I'm a giving, kind, compassionate, considerate, anticipatory sort of a person. I have to anticipate what I need to.
Isn't it nice, though, that Erica also said that a 3 or a 4 is where we have to be? That sounds better to me. I'm like, I'm at an 8 before I'm like, am I doing too much?
Well, I wait at a 12 and then I have a breakdown. And I think, I could have avoided this, you know? People don't know what's in my head. And next time I will.
At a 3 or 4?
Absolutely.
At a 4, I'm going to have to question myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, a 4.
Well, and I love the idea, too, that the better that we are about doing this, it's a signal that other people can be that way as well. It's a signal, especially to our friends and those who are close to us, of like, oh, I can be that way too. There is something in the solidarity of us all showing up like that, of being like, oh, I don't want you to feel this way. I would never want to be the parent that's asking too much of one of my friends' kids. So I've got to practice this for myself.
They're not worried about your boundary. Like,
At all.
They're not, and they'd say no to you over and over and over again because
Quickly.
they're super demanding. So like,
Yes.
you're scared to say no to somebody who, if you asked back, they'd for
Would
sure
not
say no.
hesitate.
Right? They'd
They
be like,
would
oh,
not
sorry,
hesitate.
I can't do that. It's just not the right time of day for me to take my daughter to dance, even though I signed her up by myself.
Oh, that's too bad. I don't have any daughters in dance, so I don't know what that feels
Yeah.
like. But
I
I
didn't make
do
that
have something to
mistake.
do
Yes.
today, right now. But thank you for
busy.
thinking of me as a
Yeah, so
wonderful
I
person.
don't think you need to hold a fear to like say no to somebody who clearly would not be worried about saying no to you.
Absolutely.
Well, I like it. It's the Council of Moms. We're taking it seriously without taking it personally.
Oh.
LaShawn Williams quote. And Council of Moms, we're leading out with who we want to be.
Yes.
So, Erica and Brene. Thank you so much for this discussion. As always, the Council of Moms is wherever you need us to be. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, TuneIn, Stitcher, all the things. And over on YouTube especially. So if you want to come and see what we all look like, as Erica says with the tired filter on our faces. No filters. No filters in life or on YouTube. Check us out. That's where our community is. We'd love to hear your questions, your comments, your reaction. Continue this conversation because we only grow by sharing, our real, authentic selves and experiences with each other. And if you have a question for the Council of Moms, we'd love to hear it there too. Just hop over to YouTube, leave it in the comments. Let's head over there and continue the discussion. Thank you so much for being here, LaShawn, Erica, Julie. I'm Lisa. Thanks so much.